We've all seen it before. A fragrance comes out, it gets hyped to the moon, and then 6 months later, it's like it never existed to begin with. Nothing here. What? Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. We are talking hype. This time, 25 different hype beasts that have spanned the course of history and time that are still worth buying. Sometimes the hype is warranted. All of these are going to be linked in the description below. Let's get started right away with this one. The One Luminous Night by Dolce & Gabbana. That's forwards. Now I know what you may be saying, but dude, The One Luminous Night is like $80 million right now, give or take, inflation. And I would tell you, no it's not, it's only like 400. Oh. Yeah, this is very, very expensive. So I do need to say that I wouldn't rush out there and spend 400 bucks to pick it up if you never smelled it before, but it was so good. Now you can get French Avenue's Lumiere Garçon. That's a much more affordable take on this fragrance. So you can still get something that smells really similar to this for a normal price. It's just gonna be a clone. But this right here shows us what Dolce & Gabbana can do when they actually try, which it feels like over the past 2-3 years, they really haven't. I don't know what's going on over there, but go back to more of this. The One Luminous Night, fantastic. If you've never smelled this fragrance, it is deep, warm, sexy, spicy, has a perfect use of the note of dates. It is great for fall and winter, daytime or evening, but especially good on a date. It's got the dates as a note and also good as a date fragrance. The next one that's worthy of the hype is none other than Valentino Uomo Intense. Not Born in Roma Intense, which is also great, but just the original Intense. You know, in the before times, the before Born in Roma. BIR, before Born in Roma. Valentino Uomo Intense, one of the best iris fragrances out there in the designer realm. The stuff is exquisite. It is great for fall and winter, really classy, very sophisticated, mature, grown. Has a great use of iris in that sort of creamy, slightly sweet way, and then also has leather in here, which really just adds to the scent profile, gives it a little more of a boost, gives it its own unique kind of feel. If you love iris, you have to know this. You have to know it. Let's go with a more recently hyped clone fragrance. This one right here, Mango Ice by Gulf Orchid. Obviously, pretty affordable, so that's always nice. That always helps with the hype meter. Of course, we all are familiar with the hype meter. You have to add in different facets of the fragrance, and that will fill the hype meter up. And cheapness is one of the core ingredients for the hype meter. Now this one is a clone of God of Fire, extremely well done, as you would guess by the name, a ton of mango. Smells good. It's fresh, it's sweet, it's compliment pulling, people love the stuff, and it is one of the easiest wearing fragrances out there right now. So Mango Ice, big hype beast.
What else is a hype beast?
We're gonna throw it back a little bit with this one, Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Now I know some people will look at that and be like, ah, man, Eau Fraiche, blah. That stuff's been out forever. I don't care about that, blah. But this stuff still is extremely popular, sells a ton of units, for whatever that's worth. And it still works extremely well during spring or summer. This stuff is just easygoing. It has that sort of like tropical fruity sweetness with a nice aquatic sort of undertone. They came out with the new Eau Fraiche Extreme, and people were kind of trepidatiously excited at first. Oh, Eau Fraiche is finally getting itself a flanker. Nice! But then everybody noticed, there's not star fruit in that note breakdown. It would be a real shame if it came out and smelled absolutely Nothing like Eau Fraiche. And that's exactly what happened. That's what they did. And everybody lost their minds. They were like, this stuff sucks. It has nothing to do with Eau Fraiche. I want the star fruit. I want the Eau Fraiche that I know. Suddenly everybody's up in arms. Everybody's loving Eau Fraiche again. It has stood the test of time. It still works. Spring and summer, can't go wrong with this. The next one takes a very popular DNA and pumps it up to the next level. But before we get to that one, let's talk about some codes that will pump your savings to the next level. Nice. Got a new code for Lucky Scent, which will save you 10% off anything at their fine establishment. Also have new codes for JOMASHOP coming your way, so make sure that you are aware of that code change. It happens every quarter. Those codes only work within the app. Then we got codes for Gift Express, the Perfume Box, Frag Flex, and many more. So which fragrance was I talking about that has a little bit of that testicular steroidical fortitude? Well, it's this one, Rayhan's Lion, which I said this before, but that's an AI lion, right? I mean, right? It screams to me like somebody went to ChatGPT and they were like, yo, I need a sick looking lion. I'm gonna put it on the front of my bottle. It's gonna be friggin' rad. It should have long flowing hair. Its ears should kind of just like, I don't know, meld together with the mane or something. Maybe give him some like really cool tattoos on his face. So rad. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Cap, magnetic, nice. Atomizer, atomizes, nice. Fragrance smells like Ultramall from Jean Paul Gaultier, but pumped. Which means it also smells similar to 9 p.m. by Afnan, but pumped. Because yes, this stuff projects and lasts. It is strong, which is saying something because 9 p.m., pretty strong. Ultramall, pretty strong. Lion, stronger. And with how much people love performance nowadays, you gotta love that. We gotta keep it moving, guys. So the next one is Prada L'Homme from the House of Prada. This is one that when it first came out, I remember it vividly because it was very early on in this channel's lifetime span, aging process. And at the time, a lot of people were split on this. They were like, this kind of sucks because it reminds me of Prada Amber, but worse. But I really liked it when it first came out and I still really like it now. It is the modernization of Prada vibes. Soapy, clean iris that has a nice classiness, but still very easy to use casually or just running errands or whatever. This stuff still works. It smells great. Unfortunately, Prada has pretty much abandoned it right now for Luna Rossa. And also, I guess, the new Prada Paradigm, or is it Prada Paradigme? Yeah. Bring back Prada L'Homme. The next fragrance, magnetic cap, check. Cool bottle, check. Cheap price, check. Initiate the hype. It's Missoni Wave right here in the flesh or in the glass, I guess. So Missoni Wave, this one obviously gonna be spring, summertime, daytime type of fragrance. Like I said, magnetic cap, gotta love that. And it smells kind of similar to Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport, kind of in between the two. So it gives you a really nice wearing aquatic scent profile with enough depth, enough body to it that it's gonna not immediately evaporate and dissipate and disappear when it's hot outside. And frankly, you can wear this stuff year round if you want to. It's that type of scent. Nice. Unfortunately, much like Prada with L'Homme over here, Missoni has pretty much abandoned this line. But for right now, while you can still get it, the getting is good. Okay, this one is kind of in the style of the One Luminous Night. Not in that it smells like it, but in that if you want it, you can have it, but you gotta learn to reach out there and spend a lot of friggin' money. I'm pretty sure that's how Weezer wrote that song initially. It's Dior Homme Parfum. The original Dior Homme Parfum, not the new Dior Homme Parfum. That's a different thing. The name is the same, but the game has changed. Good old Dior Homme Parfum. This stuff is gonna run you a pretty penny. Let's do one spray for the homies. Yep. Rich, deep iris leather with this sort of boozy warmth and sweetness. This is magical, fantastical. The performance, beastly. Lasts forever, projects like a monster. Like I said though, hard to find, getting harder to find, but if you can scoop it and you are an enjoyer, a purveyor of fine designer iris fragrances or frankly just iris fragrances at all, you have to get your nose on it. It's required. If you're unsure of whether you would like it or not, like you're unsure of iris or anything like that, don't spend the money to scoop it up because you may regret it. But if you're about that iris life like me, you already know. Moving on, Boss Bottled Absolute. This stuff, a newer release, but just because it's newer does not mean it is not worth the scoop. Kind of similar to Carlisle by Parfums de Marly, also a little similar to something like Mystery Tobacco by Carolina Herrera. Exquisite, opulent, magnificent, all the things. This one classy, sexy, perfect for this time of year, or as it cools down even more actually is when it will be more perfect. I love Bottled Absolute, you cannot go wrong with this scent. Back into the realm of clones we go with Liquid Brune. Liquid Brune was the first, the OG big Altair clone. Of course, Altair by Parfums de Marly. And there have been many Altair dupes that have come out down the road. This sounds weird. Sitting over here taking a dupe. Fragrance. But even though there have been other dupes that have come out of Altair, Liquid Brune, for me, still kind of at the top. It's a lot like, you know, Camera when it came out, and it was the first big Angel Share / Guy Sava alternative. For a lot of people, it was like, oh, Camera, put it up on the podium, you know what I mean? Or Aventus, Club de Nuit. It's like, oh, Club de Nuit Intense, put it up on the podium. It's kind of like that with Liquid Brune and Altair. It's great stuff. And since I said Club de Nuit, I do have one. This is the limited edition. And when the limited edition came out, it was the first time for me that I smelled a Club de Nuit Intense Man where I was like, oh, like they kind of locked in here. It's smoother, it has a much higher quality opening, the citrus smells much better off the top, it has more texture to it, it's just a better fragrance all the way around compared to the original release of CD&IM, which a lot of people thought was rough around the edges. Limited edition. Like I said, the first time I smelled a Club de Nuit Intense Man and I was like, that's actually really well done, actually. And they took it and ran with it because how many Club de Nuit Intense Man flankers do we have now at this point? Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. The big V comes and graces us with its presence once more. That's right, Versace. And it's none other than Dylan Blue. And this is another fragrance where it's an easy punching bag, right? This is the scent that a lot of people will say, ah, shiitake. Omae wa mou shineru. But it's not actually that bad. It's just, it's easy to take shots at. Fact of the matter is, this stuff is not too expensive, which means a lot of people can get this. They can work it into their rotation. There's nothing wrong with fragrances being available to the masses so that everyone can enjoy it. At least I don't think so. That's a good thing. It has year-round usability. It is extremely versatile. It's easy to wear, daytime, nighttime, office safe, whole thing. As long as you don't go crazy heavy with the trigger. I mean, at that point, nothing is office safe. You, sir, are a psychopath. Spray your fragrances less. And it gives you, you know, similar usability to stuff like Bleu de Chanel, Dior Sauvage, and has a great presentation as well. It looks nice, looks classy. So I think for the majority of people, this is absolutely worth every bit of hype it ever got. Legend Spirit is next from Mont Blanc. Now you may not remember this, maybe you weren't into fragrances at the time, maybe you weren't born yet. If that's the case, you're still too young. You have to go to YouTube Kids. You can't be on normal YouTube, I'm sorry. But there was a time that Invictus Aqua, the Invictus Aqua in the nice frosted glass bottle, was impossible to find. Discontinued, it was no more. And people turned to this, Legend Spirit, to give them something very similar to that at a much more affordable price. And it did that really well. Now, people still love Legend Spirit. People still talk about Legend Spirit, not as much as they used to though. And I'll say it still works just as well. And that is evidenced by Invictus Aqua coming back again. It still works, that scent profile. So Legend Spirit also still works. Hawas up next, more specifically, Ice. Versace has gone a little overboard with the Hawas releases lately. I poked some fun at Club de Nuit Intense Man over here, but Versace is outdoing them at this point as far as how many they're popping out. The Hawas line is kind of like just a bunch of rabbits kept together in a dark cage with like Barry White playing in the background, you know, some soulful love music going on, little heart-shaped bed, jacuzzi in the room, the whole thing. That's kind of the Hawass line right now. It's like you're watching them, okay? You're watching the Hawass releases and you're like, okay, they're all right there. I know all of them. Okay, cool. Turn around, look back. Oh my God, there's 5 more. What happened? How they keep multiplying? They're like gremlins. What? I'm calling it. By this time next year, there's gonna be 10 more Hawasses released, which I'm half joking. It's probably gonna be like 8, not 10, but Hawass Ice, one of the best. It just takes that original Hawass DNA, gives it a nice little fresh coat of paint, emphasis on fresh, livens things up, smells amazing. Lalique up next, white in black. You could go with a bunch of different Laliques, but I really love this one. Now it does smell similar to one fairly well-known, somewhat underground fragrance, Leighton. It smells a little bit like that, but with that typical Lalique touch, that nice bit of spicy class. And when you can find this bad boy at discounters on the low, it feels great. Smells great too. So Lalique White and Black, that is worth it. Absolutely love it. And that's one that's more like, if you know, you know. Your average bro may not know about that one. Not as much as Hawass Ice anyway. I've been talking forever. We have 10 more to go. It's speed round time. Tarothi Blue by Offnon. This right here, fantastic quality, amazing price. It's gonna give you that Bulgari Tiger flair on the cheap, and kind of like Liquid Bruin, this is the first one that really hit in a big way for that fragrance, and it still carries over to today, still works. Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum. This is one that's more underneath the radar, underneath the whatever, under the radar. Great performance, definitely a more unique scent profile, especially if you're not familiar with the Kenzo Homme line, how it smells nowadays, because they do kind of flow together in terms of smelling similar a little bit, but not smelling as similar to other things outside the line. Amazing performance for an aquatic fragrance, also with a leather undertone to it. Marwa by Rabiat Prestige. This is a clone of Louis Vuitton's Imagination. Possibly the best Imagination clone out there on the market today, and also a really good atomizer, like really good. Spectre Ghost by Fragrance World, which also has a really good atomizer. Now I'm layering fragrances together. Smells pretty good. What is that move? I'm not sure. This one is a clone of Ani, Nishane's Ani. So a sparkling vanilla forward fragrance that has more versatility than you would expect and great performance once again. For the price point, amazing. One more clone, then we'll hop back into some designers. Kamra Dukhan. Yes, the newest Kamra. This one is the best one so far until the next one comes out. It's like meta commentary. This one differs from the original in that it has a little more push, a little more projection, a little better longevity, so it'll stick around, hang out with you longer, listen to your problems, your woes. The original Kamra would maybe get tired of listening to you talk about your job and how it sucks, and how you haven't gotten enough sleep and how that sucks, how you're in debt and that sucks. The original Kamra would be like, I'm going away. Dukhan will stick around. It'll be there for you. It has a nice added bit of tobacco, this extra little waft of smokiness as well that helps set it apart. Good stuff. Designers, Lamal Elixir, cannot go wrong. It does have a good amount of sweetness, this like honeyed tobacco note that's in there, which is gonna set it apart a bit from Lamal Le Parfum, but I have put a gnarly dent in this bottle, which is saying something because minimalism. I got all this stuff, man. That's all I'm saying. One of the best in the Lamal line, fall, winter time, staple. Polo 67, the Eau de Parfum. Love this fragrance. It is obviously a newer release. The opening, fantastic. Some people would maybe say, it's too simple for me, but I think it is perfectly executed. That citrus combo off the top with pineapple just smells amazing, especially when it's warm outside, but it also has enough longevity that you can wear it when it's cold outside. Speaking of pineapple, the next one has that as well. It is 9 p.m. Rebel by Offnon. So this one has pineapple, also regular apple, and mandarin orange off the top. Has some woods and vanilla as well as it dries down, and it gets compared actually to the smell of Kayed Al Farsan by Lattafa. So it's an Offnon that smells like a Lattafa. And the reason that I have this one here and not the Lattafa is this one to me smells higher quality and has better performance. Then we have Sauvage Elixir. You gotta have Sauvage Elixir. Throwback scent profile to an extent done in a modern way. Spicy, woody, masculine, powerful. This stuff, absolutely worth the hype, I love it. And the final fragrance is one that has flown under the radar for a number of years. It is First Instinct Extreme by Abercrombie & Fitch. And I know that Abercrombie & Fitch right now, people don't really look to them for fragrances, at least not for the most part. But when this First Instinct line hit, people really dug it. This one has starfruit, coconut, musk, cashmere, and violet. Performance is not too bad, which some of the other First Instinct fragrances have lower performance, which is why you go with the Extreme. And it's just a really nice, fresh, tropical scent profile that works extremely well in just about any situation that almost nobody is wearing nowadays. So it gives you something a little more under the radar. There we go. 25 hypebeast fragrances that are actually worth it. And if you've stuck around until the end, we need a giveaway, and I have not prepared one. This is a very random giveaway, so I have a commodity best of box here. It has a 30 ml of milk and a 30 ml of gold. Then Givenchy's L'Interdit Rouge. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that again. I apologize. Butchered it. So these two fragrances right here, this box of 2 fragrances and this fragrance right here, we'll do that as the giveaway today. Usual stuff, like the video, be subscribed to the channel, comment down below. Let me know your most appreciated hyped fragrance, whichever one that you think, oof, that one lives up to the hype. Pick a winner with random comment picker, post it up on the post tab of the YouTube channel next month. If you're the winner, hit me up, I'll ship it out to you. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourself. See you tomorrow for another fragrance video. See you later.